Congress, Black history. Know the history. Don't do that. You just got here. I was born and raised here. Don't do that. No disrespect and no pun intended, but I'm keeping it 100. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please, for those, don't do that. Because you don't know what we went through for you to get here. A lot of people hung from trees, was annihilated, was disseminated, and we can't even do a body count because some of them they didn't never find.
No records.
So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't you feel a sense of entitlement on the blood of my people. Don't do that. Learn my history, and then you'll understand why things are the way it is. So go to the Library of Congress, LOC.gov, put Black History, and the main one I want you to put in LOC.gov is the Willie Lynch letter. And then you would understand why you are here.
Mm-hmm. That's a good read. I mean, it gives a lot of information. That was written so long ago, right? And you still see the same concept. I'm like, oh, my gosh, man, it is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And it's an eye-opener. As you say, though, when you read stuff like that, man, you can't help but be angry because you just feel like, man, you got to be kidding me. And then when you realize and you see it, you want to share it with somebody else. And depending on where their mind is, where they are at this particular time in their life, they may say, yeah, that interests me. Or like, no, it ain't going to get no better. Well, that just had it. Or that was so long ago. So you have to really fight with that level of apathy, right? That's out there, even though you need to do something like, it's like somebody always say, I'm gaining weight. I need to do something about that. I need to lose some weight. And then you still see them eat the same thing that got them big, right? I need to do this. So we see the need. But then as we've been speaking the whole show, where's going to be the effort? Where's that effort coming from? What can you actually do when the show is over? What can you do? When the meetings are over, what can you do? When the lights are off, what do you do? What do you do in that time when the limelight ain't on you, right? For the community, when it ain't just the best job in the world or the pats on the back, or you may not get the interview or be on the television. What do you do? Because again, that's where it has to happen. It has to happen from the ground floor, from the ground level. And those that are going through got to see that, what, somebody does care. As you say earlier, that they get on drugs and stuff like that and self-medicate because they give up and feel like, I don't care no way. No one, I don't care. And I don't matter to anyone. And so they feel like they just waste away. They waste away that God-given life and that God-given potential and could be great out here, but choose not to be great because the support system around them has told them that, you know what, you don't matter because you chose to do these drugs that were put into our community, right? But you don't matter. You don't matter now. And that's a sad state of being. That's a sad state of mind. But as more and more people that really want to see the good, want to see the positive, I just tell all y'all, man, keep going, keep pushing, and don't stop because it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be doing it. But as we talked earlier offline, many are called, few are chosen. The harvest is plenty. The labors are few, right? Everybody wants the housework, but you got to get out here in this field. This field needs attending to, as they say. You got to get out here and go get it. Right? And then there may not be a lot of glory in this field work, but there's a lot of reward in it because that's where it is. Because wide is that path to destruction. We got to go grab them. Our brothers and sisters, kings and queens are lost. We got to go get them. We got to go get them. We can't be so caught up in our own stuff that we can't see the struggle out here nowhere because eventually it's going to dawn on our doorstep. So we got to be able to be prepared and help those and be there as a community for those that are going through and give them the valuable resources to help them. To say, you know what, I don't like what you're going through. Let me help you the best way I can. And if I can't help you, then let me see if I can connect you with a resource that can. Let's not be stingy with the information. Share with one another. Sharing is caring, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, I think, and I know, and I understand, and I understand with our brothers, you got 100 times worse than us. I understand that. But you got to press through. I understand the annihilation. I understand. Trust me. I lived it. I've seen it. I'm feeling it. I understand. And that's why the prison, they keep building the prisons. You take the head, you took the dynasty. I am woman, hear me roar. I'm not that female. Because God made man the head. We are the helpmates. We not above them. But if you don't know the history, you know why it's by design that some women, and hear me roar, I am it. No,
it's by
it
design.
is what
you
it
know
is.
it. Exactly. But
It's
you know
by
what you see
design.
it.
That's why I'm
You see
sending
it.
them to educate. If you know, that's why they go. They say, okay, you need a therapist. When you sit and you tell this therapist all your, but the therapist isn't really solving your problem. The therapist is helping you solve your own problem.
Make you
And
think.
the number one thing is, if you don't know, when it comes to us, because people who come in after us, they don't know. We weren't allowed to read. We don't know our history. I taught myself my history. But until we start educating our boys and females that's out there in them streets, our history, then you'll know you're better than what you think you are less than. But if you don't know you're better than what you less than, then you believe that.
Yes. That's all you're exposed
so
to.
you got you and it's hard for them to like, okay, how am I supposed to get that if my condition is so dilapidated and this is where I live? See, that's where you put the labels on, because the number one key is, and it is true, children are where they live. And if you don't give them a different alternative, they think that is who they are.
Yeah.
Where I am is not who I am. And I say that a lot because I have people that will say, well, you was born in the project. No, you stayed in the project. I didn't take on the project mentality. Because I used to lead a project, go to the hotel, get on the tour bus, and be a tourist looking at all these $1 million houses, dreaming about one day I'm going to have that. You chose to stay in that cesspool and suck up that foolishness that they put in your mind that you less than. I was always a dreamer. I used to skip school when my parents were living and get on the school bus and go to, I'm a dreamer. I put thoughts in my head as a child. So it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Exactly. So you are what you think you are. So if you don't think more than yourself,
you be less.
You don't know. But I don't expect somebody that's been sexually, physically, mentally abused to know, because you in that. Let me tell you something about, and I'm going to give a brief psychology class right quick. Let me tell you something, when the psyche starts bothering you, is that when you constantly being reminded of whatever happened to you, whatever it is. But see, I think it was once I accepted God, and I alluded to say, I didn't believe in no God. So I wasn't traditionally raised in no church. I wasn't traditionally given a God. I wasn't traditionally with the norm to be conformed. I didn't practice religion and none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just like straight from the street and having a relation. I guess you call it that domestic experience, having a relationship with God.
Exactly.
So I didn't have all that toxicity and tradition to conform, because see, even when I did at the age of 17 accepted God to come in my life and change me, I didn't have no platform to say, okay, I'm Jesus, I'm Buddha, I'm Muhammad, I'm all these other. I bypassed. Those are prophets. Those are cultures. Those are cultures, and those are prophets. But I bypassed the cultures and the prophets, and I said, okay, God, if you're real, change me. 17-year-old kid.
17.
But God.
Yeah.
I'm 55. Be 56 this year, but God.
God's great. Great.
So my premise is that we as a people, we got to stop in making excuses for ignorance. The Bible said, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And for those, and no disrespect or pun intended, for those who don't, please don't get in the way of those who do.
Say that again.
Go do you. Go do you. and just stay out of our way.
Please.
Because that's in one of my poems, I call them wolves in sheep clothing. You're pretending you do, but you're coming in wolf clothing to break down what is already getting ready. But you can never stop. What's for you is for you. I don't get intimidated. Most people, and a lot of people give me all these. I don't care about all that stuff. Because when you're about the business, why take it personal? It took my family. There's something to this.
That is personal.
This thing is real.
It's real
you
personal.
wiped out, and when I say family, it's my brothers. You take the head, you took the community. And that's why they're building the jails. You're taking our community. We need our men. I'm not one of these women that say, I don't need a man. Yes, I do. We need our men.
Yeah.
And we want our men. The crime don't meet the time. That's one of my poems in my book. It doesn't meet the time. We need our men. Yes, we do. It's by design. And like everybody coming out the closet and everybody putting their hands up and time's up. Yes, your time is up. It is. But your time on my psychological psyche is a whole different platform. It's time out for the foolishness. Our children are dying in these streets. Yeah. And it's time for us to come collectively as a community and do what it takes to get our children back, our community back. We're bigger than this, but you don't know your history to know this. We're beyond this. That's why we're being destroyed, because they, whomever they are, know our history.
Better
and
than
we don't.
Do. Better than we do. Yep, you're right. And that's the thing. We perish for the lack of knowledge, not the lack of access to knowledge, the lack of knowledge, because we're not using it and we're not gaining it. We don't even see it. I mean, I talk to youngsters all the time. Yeah, did you read? Do you like to read? No, I don't like to read. No, I don't like to read. I'm on my son all the time about it, man. Read. You know, put something in your head. You know, put some knowledge and some information in there besides what this boob tube is telling you. This idiot's box, if you will, right? You know, because they're going to dumb you down and keep you in a level to where I can manipulate your mind and I can take you where I want to take you. And then now you can be a consumer. You're not going to be a thinker. You're not going to be a leader. You're not going to be an educator. You're not going to be a pillar of your community, because all you're going to do is think about all the little bitty stuff that I'm just throwing your way, because you're not even putting anything in to fight against it. So you don't even see the rules or the bullcorn. You don't even see it, because you're just so caught up in it, you don't even see it as being for what it is. And you will argue with anybody else that try to tell you, you know, hey, that ain't what that is, because you're just so comfortable, as I say all the time, comfortably uncomfortable. So we have to really just get out of that mindset. And again, continue to just connect with more and more people that thinks that way. We're going to be the change. I see it happening. I see a wave of people that gets it. I still see some that don't. But again, we're going to take them at the level that they're on. If you want to join on in, and let's move and groove from there. I tell you what I want you to do, though, before we get up out of here and everything as well, and forget about some things. I do want you to give me one of those poems from your book. And everything as well. But let me read a couple of these listener comments, and then I'll let you go into that real quick. Mr. Brandon, when you were talking about drugs in the community and things, he made a comment and saying being transparent is the first step to self-healing. Yes, drugs really was aimed at our communities, and now they flaunt it in our faces with movies like American Made. It glorifies a guy who got rich working for the government, flying drugs from Noriega and Escobar, etc. But they never tell us how they destroyed our people in the process. You know, and then Craig Johnson Jr., preach my people preach. So they're really liking what we're saying, and they're really feeling information that we're throwing out there, and like the passion, I guess, in what we're saying. But at the same time, though, you guys that are listening, you know, Craig, Brandon, or whatever, I know you guys are going to do it as well. Be that leader in your sphere of influence and get us to do stuff. Because, again, we've sang and talked for long enough. Now it's time to collectively actually do some things, because we see the need of our community. It's almost like negligent homicide. Watch somebody that watch what we do, it's almost like we watching us drown and know we haven't taken one swimming lesson and watched us jump off the diving board into 10 feet of water and walk away. That's what we're doing right now to our community. If we're not grabbing the youngsters and saying, hey, man, why are you using that N-word in the midst of people? You can't think of another word? Hey, man, why are you treating that brother that way? Why are you treating your sister that way? And because you walk in your king and your queenness, you can go up to a stranger